When the casket is moving towards the cutter flag and it passes in front of you, I'll request that all military personnel will pay the appropriate compliments as they pass by to the cutter flag. The firing party is now ready. Firing party.
Mr. Dr.omane Burma. The second,
Request for us to pay the appropriate compliments
is Murtala Mohammed. Murtala Mohammed was here just 2 months ago for one of his last major interviews. And we remember him tonight on PM Express, speaking to me on PM Express just 2 months ago. And he was here to talk about illegal mining. One of the things that indeed had consumed him, but also had consumed Omane Burma. In fact, it is the reason why he was traveling today.
Second cutter flag will now commence movement
was heading
to the aircraft.
To the launch of one
Second
of the initiatives
he announced will happen
to the aircraft on PM Express. At the time, he did not know when exactly that event will happen, but he was certain that himself, together with his colleague Omane Burma and the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, of course, under the leadership of the President, will somehow find a solution
to members of the Ghana Armed Forces. And today, some of their colleagues went out there this morning and have not returned. A very tragic accident. And so, just in front of me, I see 2 members of the Ghana Armed Forces in an embrace, really in tears about this very tragic accident that has claimed the life of 8 people, 5 government officials, and 3 members of the Ghana Armed Forces and the crew that were carrying them to this national assignment and duty tour
the
of the Ashanti region.
Casket has been received by the second bearer party, and they will be now moving to the second cutter flag. The third bearer party is now moving to the aircraft to receive the third casket. Let's pay the appropriate compliments as the third casket moves to the cutter flag.
all 8 caskets will make their way to the catafalque as you hear the announcement on the PA system, and 3 of them are currently out of the flight. The remaining 5 will also be taken out in the same fashion. The Ghana Armed Forces men and women who are on this ground have prepared for this. When we came here, there were a couple of rehearsals ongoing, and so the burial parties march the flight. They take the caskets and they move it to the catafalque, and then once it is lowered down to the catafalque, they make their way back to the flight to pick the next casket. And so they are going to do this in turn until all 8 caskets, signifying and representing all 8 people, all 8 persons who tragically passed away in this helicopter crash in the Adansi area in the Ashanti region, are all moved. And when they do, there are clergymen and women here, as well as imams, who are representing the religious backgrounds
is now ready to receive
persons who have tragically passed.
Casket.
There will be short prayers on them before this ceremony, very brief ceremony to receive the bodies of these persons will be brought to an end.
And the 4th casket is now being moved to be placed on the 4th catafalque.
Dr.omane Burma. The second, as he mentioned, is Murtala Muhammad. Murtala Muhammad was here just 2 months ago for one of his last major interviews. And we remember him tonight on PM Express, speaking to me on PM Express just 2 months ago. And he was here to talk about illegal mining. One of the things that indeed had consumed him, but also had consumed Omane Burma. In fact, it is the reason why he was traveling today and met his death in that plane crash. He was heading to the launch of one of the initiatives he announced will happen on PM Express. At the time, he did not know when exactly that event will happen, but he was certain that he himself, together with his colleague Omane Burma and the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, of course, under the leadership of the President, will somehow find a solution to this most threatening of threats, talking about the illegal mining problem. So today he got on a helicopter to go to the launch of this anti-galamsey initiative that was being launched. And that helicopter he was flying in, Z9, crashed. This is Murtala Muhammad on PM Express 2 months ago, talking about one of the things that was on his heart that he really wanted to do as a minister. Watch.
Well, even say good evening and good evening to our cherished viewers.
Let's pay the
and Ramadan Mubarak to my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters who are engaged in this month of Ramadan. And let me thank Dr. Kenneth for his warm words of my PhD.
We now have the 6th burial party moving to receive the 6th casket. request that all those who are standing behind the cattle flags should move to enable the ceremony to go on smoothly. The seventh bearer party, the sixth bearer party, is now moving with the casket to the sixth cattle flag. Let's pay the appropriate compliments as they pass by. We now have the seventh bearer party moving to the tail of the aircraft